I still remember the sound of the door locking behind me. It wasn't loud. No dramatic slam. Just a dull click that echoed in my chest louder than any gunshot ever could. That was the moment I understood something irreversible had happened. The kind of moment that divides your life into two parts, before and after. Before, I was just another man trying to live honestly. After, I became a criminal in the eyes of the world, a monster they didn't hesitate to cage. They said I committed the crime. They said the evidence was airtight. Fingerprints, witnesses, timelines, everything aligned too perfectly. That should have been my first clue. Real life is never perfect, lies are. I was framed. The courtroom smelled like polished wood and quiet judgment. Every face I looked at had already decided my fate. The prosecutor spoke with confidence, weaving a story so convincing that even I almost believed it. The defense lawyer barely met my eyes. Maybe he knew the truth didn't matter. Maybe he was just tired of fighting battles he knew he'd lose. When the verdict came, it felt unreal. Guilty. One word. One breath. And just like that, my name became poison. My mother cried. My sister couldn't look at me. Friends disappeared overnight as if guilt were contagious. The world didn't ask questions. It never does. It just moves on, stepping over broken people without slowing down. Prison is not what movies show you. It's quieter, slower, more brutal in ways that don't leave visible scars. Days blend together. Nights stretch endlessly. You learn quickly that innocence means nothing behind bars. Strength, silence, and survival become your only currency. At first, I was angry. Furious at everyone, at the system, at the judge, at God, at myself. Then the anger turned cold, focused, controlled, because anger burns fast, but patience lasts longer. And patience is what you need when you're planning something big. I replayed the case in my head every night. Every detail, every inconsistency. There were cracks in the story, tiny ones no one bothered to look at, because the case was already solved. The security footage that mysteriously went missing for exactly 7 minutes. The witness who claimed to see me at the scene but described a jacket I never owned. The financial motive that made no sense if anyone had bothered to check deeper. Someone wanted me here, and whoever it was had power. Prison teaches you how people really work. You meet men who were guilty and men who weren't. The innocent ones all share. The same look in their eyes, a mix of rage and grief, like someone standing at their own funeral. I listened more than I spoke. Information is everywhere if you're patient enough. That's when I met Harris. Old-timer. Gray beard, eyes sharp enough to cut glass. He'd been inside longer than I'd been free. He knew the system, knew the guards, knew the deals that happened in shadows. One night, as we sat in silence, he asked me a simple question. "What did they say you did?" I told him. He didn't laugh. He didn't judge. He just nodded slowly. "Yeah," he said. "That kind of crime usually means someone wanted a clean fall guy." That sentence changed everything. From that night on, I stopped thinking like a victim. I started thinking like a hunter. I filed appeals. Most were rejected without explanation. That was expected. The system protects itself first. But each rejection gave me access to more documents, more transcripts, more tiny mistakes hidden between legal jargon. I studied law books like they were survival manuals. I learned how evidence could be bent without breaking, how truth could be buried under procedure. Years passed. The world forgot me, but I didn't forget the world. Then one day, something unexpected happened. A guard slipped me a note. No name, no explanation. Just 4 words written in shaky ink. Check the witness. That was all. The witness. The one who had sealed my fate. The man who claimed he saw me commit the crime. I dug into his testimony again. This time, I noticed something I'd missed before. A small detail about his job. A job that placed him in contact with someone very powerful. Someone who had everything to gain from my conviction. It wasn't proof, not yet. But it was a direction. And direction is everything when you've been lost for years. I started writing letters, carefully worded. Sent to journalists, investigators, even people I knew would ignore me. Most did. But one didn't. A young reporter who still believed truth mattered. She asked questions no one else wanted to. She followed the trail I pointed her toward. Things began to move. Slowly, quietly, dangerously. I could feel it even inside those walls. The tension, the fear. Someone out there realized the past wasn't as buried as they thought. Then came the transfer. No explanation. New prison. New faces. New rules. That's when I knew I was getting close. When powerful people feel threatened, they don't attack directly. They isolate. They delay. They hope time will do what bullets can't. But time was no longer on their side. The reporter uncovered financial records, shell companies, payoffs disguised as consulting fees. The witness wasn't just lying, he was paid. The evidence wasn't just mishandled, it was altered. And the real culprit? He was someone no one would ever suspect. Respected. Untouchable. Until now. The day my conviction was overturned didn't feel like victory. It felt like waking up after a long coma to find the world unfamiliar. Cameras were everywhere. Apologies came from people who never doubted me when it was convenient. The system called it a mistake. Mistakes don't steal years of your life. I walked out of prison with nothing but the clothes they gave me and a promise I made to myself long ago. I wasn't done. Not even close. Freedom didn't bring peace. It brought clarity. I didn't want revenge in the way people imagine it. No blood. No screaming confrontations. I wanted truth, exposure, consequences. Wanted the real culprit. To feel what it's like to slowly realize the walls are closing in and no one is coming to save you. I stayed quiet. I let them think it was over, that I was just another broken man trying to rebuild. Meanwhile, I worked. Met with lawyers. Fed information to investigators. Helped connect dots that had been deliberately kept apart. The hunter doesn't rush. When the arrest finally happened, I wasn't there to watch. I didn't need to be. I heard about it on the news, just like everyone else. The same anchor who once announced my guilt now spoke the truth with a straight face. I turned off the TV. Justice didn't give me my years back. It didn't erase the nights I spent staring at concrete walls, wondering if life was already over. But it gave me something else. My name. And a reminder to the world that the real criminals don't always look dangerous. Sometimes they wear suits. Sometimes they sit in courtrooms. Sometimes they help put innocent people in prison and sleep just fine afterward. But not always. Because sometimes the person you frame survives. And when they do, they don't forget.